Beloved, I want you to take a deep breath right now. Let it move through you like a soft breeze brushing across your soul. Because what you are about to listen to is not just information, it is confirmation. It is a whisper from the divine feminine herself, coming to remind you that you are not lost, you are not waiting in vain, and you most certainly are not imagining the pull in your chest that seems to tighten and glow all at once. If you have found yourself here, lingering on these words with quiet anticipation, it is not by accident. You are not just on the twin flame path, you are nearing its most sacred threshold. The signs have been speaking. The energy has been shifting. And now, the veil begins to lift. As someone who has walked beside countless souls on this journey, and as a channel for the divine feminine, I've learned to recognize the frequency of sacred readiness. I've witnessed the quiet miracles that unfold when two souls, born from the same spark, finally reach the vibration of union, not just in longing, but in devotion. So if you've been wondering whether you're imagining it, if your heart has been beating a little louder lately, if the air feels charged with possibility, let me guide you. Let me show you the 5 signs that reveal you are not just on the path. You're nearing the altar. Number 1. The energy between you feels settled, not desperate. When your journey with your twin flame first began, it likely felt like being caught in the eye of a storm, an emotional whirlwind of longing, hope, obsession, and heartbreak. You craved their presence with a kind of hunger that made no logical sense. Their absence felt like a betrayal of something sacred, even when you knew they were navigating their own pain. In those early stages, the connection was anything but peaceful. It was raw, electric, and utterly consuming. Your nervous system lived in fight or flight, and your heart never quite knew whether to leap forward or retreat. But as you moved through the fire, burning through illusions, shedding the ego's expectations, softening your grip on how love should unfold, something within you began to shift. You stopped chasing. You stopped resisting. You learned to sit in the ache without letting it define you. You started building a relationship not just with them, but with yourself. And that, beloved, is when the chaos began to dissolve. Now, when you think of them, it no longer brings a tidal wave of anxiety or an urge to act. It brings presence. It brings breath. You can hold their soul with tenderness in your heart without needing to hold their body in your arms. That shift is monumental. Because when you stop needing them to complete your experience of love, and instead choose to embody that love in your daily life, the energy dynamic transforms entirely. This is the essence of inner union. It's not that the desire vanishes, it matures. You're no longer orbiting their absence, you're anchored in your own essence. You trust the connection because you trust yourself. And when your energy stabilizes in that self-honoring stillness, the alchemical magic begins. The divine can now orchestrate reunion, not as a rescue mission, but as a reflection of wholeness finally coming home. Number 2. You begin to witness mirrored readiness in them. There's a quiet miracle that happens when you've done enough of your own healing to finally release the fantasy of who your twin flame should be, and begin to witness who they are truly becoming. In the past, you may have clung to potential, projecting your own light onto them in hopes that they would awaken to the truth you already saw. And for a while, that illusion sustained you. But over time, it began to hurt. Because love that isn't grounded in shared readiness eventually becomes exhaustion. For a long season, it may have felt like you were the only one walking the path, the only one doing the work. And in some ways, you were. You were carrying the torch of the connection in the dark, not to chase them, but to remember your own light. But now, that light is being met, not in desperation, but in reflection. Maybe they don't say everything aloud, but their energy has shifted. Their presence feels warmer. Their eyes linger longer. Their words carry weight. They no longer hide behind fear or ego quite as often. They may not yet be fluent in the language of sacred love, but they're learning, and you can feel that they want to learn. Even if you're apart, the field between you feels less tangled. You may receive their thoughts in flashes, sense their emotions in moments of stillness, or notice that your own healing is mirrored in theirs. And rather than craving contact, you simply know they're walking toward you too, in their own sacred rhythm. This is not about perfection. It's about alignment. When both souls begin to ripen in their own timing and truth, a space is created, a living temple, where union can finally root and rise. And that is no longer a dream. It's a promise beginning to unfold. Number 3. The universe begins to reflect sacred union themes everywhere. There's something exquisite about the way the universe begins to speak when your soul is truly ready to receive. In the earlier stages of the twin flame journey, signs often feel like puzzles, flashes of numbers, dreams, coincidences that stir your longing but leave you wondering. They tease the heart, nudge the intuition, and stir the ache. But as you enter the sacred space of readiness, when union is no longer a craving but a calling, those signs change. They become precise, deliberate, unmistakable. It's not just angel numbers anymore. It's hearing your flame's full name in the quiet moment right after you ask the divine for reassurance. It's passing a shop window and seeing a bridal display, not with wishfulness, but with the eerie sense that something is being revealed just for you. You start to encounter music, movies, messages that echo your inner landscape with uncanny accuracy. It's as if the universe is tuning your life like an instrument, each string aligned to the frequency of sacred union. And most telling of all, you no longer seek these signs from desperation. You don't cling to them or read too deeply into them. You receive them. You smile. You say thank you. Because deep down, you know, these aren't distractions or illusions. They're preparations. The divine doesn't waste its voice. When you begin to walk with clarity and softness, the world around you transforms into a ceremonial space. Everything becomes symbolic. Everything becomes sacred. You begin to understand that you are not chasing union, you are co-creating it with every aligned choice you make, every healed wound you tend to, every surrender you embody. This is how you know. Your life no longer echoes loss, it whispers arrival. And every synchronicity is not a maybe. It's a message, get ready, beloved. It's coming. Number 4. Your inner world shifts from seeking love to becoming love. There is a sacred shift that happens when your longing transforms into embodiment, when your desire for union stops being an ache and starts becoming an offering. This is the moment when the divine feminine begins to rise fully within you, not as an idea, but as a lived experience. You no longer see love as something outside of you, something to be found, earned, or kept. You begin to realize, you are love, and always have been. This transformation doesn't happen all at once. It's tender, subtle. It unfolds quietly, like petals opening to the sun. You start making choices that honor your worth, not because you're trying to be high vibrational, but because anything less than reverence now feels foreign to your soul. You stop chasing the illusion of connection and begin cultivating deep intimacy with your own spirit. And in that space, everything changes. You laugh more freely. You cry more honestly. You speak to the divine without filters, without formulas. You bless your food. You anoint your skin. You turn your home into a sanctuary. You embody the very love you once hoped would arrive at your doorstep, and in doing so, you become the beacon. Your twin flame feels this. Even if you haven't spoken in months, even if they're across oceans, they feel the energy of your becoming. Because true union doesn't respond to longing, it responds to embodiment. When you overflow with love, you send out a frequency that cannot be ignored. Not by the universe. Not by them. This is how sacred partnerships are born, not from waiting, but from becoming. You don't manifest union by fixing yourself. You manifest it by remembering yourself. By choosing to live as if you are already in love with your life. Because, beloved, you are. Number 5. You feel the sacred call to become a devotional partner. There is a point on the twin flame journey where love stops being a yearning and becomes a vow. Not a spoken one, not yet, but a vow made in the quiet chambers of your soul. You no longer fantasize about being chosen. You choose. You choose love, again and again, not for what it gives you, but for what it asks of you. This is the sacred moment when you begin to feel the call, not just to be with your twin flame, but to become a devotional partner. Devotion is not submission. It is not sacrifice born from unworthiness. It is reverence. It is the soul's recognition that real love is holy work, and you are ready to tend to it with grace, consistency, and care. You no longer want to be loved in fleeting waves. You want to build an altar out of your days. You want to hold space when they falter. You want to protect the purity of your union not with fear, but with integrity. This shift is unmistakable. You begin to feel a desire to clear your space, to create beauty around you, to tend to your body like it's a living prayer. You consider what it means to be a true companion, not just when love feels easy, but when it asks you to be patient, to listen, to grow. You're no longer preparing for a wedding. You're preparing for a sacred life. This calling to devotion doesn't mean your twin flame is perfect. It means you're ready to love them through their imperfection, without losing yourself in the process. It means you're ready to stand side by side, as equals, as mirrors, as co-creators. Because when both souls carry the flame with reverence, union becomes more than romance. It becomes a legacy of light. Beloved, you don't need another oracle card. You don't need another reader to validate what your soul already knows. You are standing at the edge of something holy. You can feel it in the softness of your breath, in the steadiness of your heart, in the way the universe whispers, "Prepare yourself." You are not just wishing anymore. You are becoming the wish. Marriage, in the realm of twin flames, is not a contract, it is a cosmic consecration. And it can only happen when both souls remember who they truly are. You are remembering. And so are they. Let this message be the blessing you've been waiting for. Let it be the gentle voice that says, "You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're almost there. The altar is near. And you are ready to walk down the aisle, not just with them, but with your own divinity. May you be guided in grace. May your union be blessed beyond time.